Good afternoon, good people. It's Craig with Get in Position as it relates to your health. This past Tuesday, October the 8th, we aired live one of our episodes, our podcast episode. It was in reference to anyone seeking a kidney transplant. One of the things is that uh, when you go for evaluation, you meet with a team of your doctors, the surgeons, nurses, nurse practitioners, and also social workers. Now, these evaluations are pretty intense. You do a lot of testing and so on and so forth. However, a huge portion of that evaluation and paperwork that's needed um, is in regards to finances. Um, Most kidney patients and dialysis patients, um, they have insurance. Maybe their spouse has insurance, or maybe they have insurance from their work, from their jobs. Um, Many of them can't work anymore. I know I couldn't work anymore because the way dialysis made me feel coming off of it. Um, Also, uh, many of them are on Medicare. Uh, some senior citizens are on Medicaid, and they want to know, how are you going to pay for this? Not only the operation, the transplant, but they also want to know post transplant, because right now, currently, I am in post transplant mode, right? I'm going through it right now today. And they warn you and they tell you, you know, they prep you for all these things in regards to medications, the expenses of medications. If you are transplanted outside of your state, I'm currently in Georgia. I'm a resident of Georgia now. However, I was listed on three different lists. I was listed here, Emory University, in Atlanta. I was also listed at UAB, University of Birmingham, Alabama, which is about maybe an hour and a half away, very, very close. And I was also listed at MUSC in South Carolina, Charleston, which is the facility where I actually received the transplant surgery. So once you get the transplant, you get that call, you're going to have to stay close proximity to that facility. Um, I was only in the hospital for about 4 days, in the hospital for about 4 days. And after that, I had to keep coming back every day for about maybe a week and a half, just to check up, make sure things were going well. I had some other things, other testing I had to do. Um, so that meant we had to stay in some lodging. And so they want to know, how you're going to pay for all of this. You may have savings, that's well and fine, that's cool. Good for you. However, every little bit helps, right? If you get more, extra, more, every little bit helps. And I was so grateful that my social worker at the time at my transplant facility, she told me about the Georgia Transplant Foundation, where I was able to raise funds, and they will match, because I'm a Georgia resident, they will match up to $10,000. They match dollar for dollar, which is great. And from what I'm hearing, GTF, Georgia Transplant Foundation, is one of its kind in the nation. There are no other programs like GTF in the nation. So I was very fortunate, right? And even individuals who are Georgia residents are very fortunate. So that's why I'm pushing it. I want to get it out there. But we were talking about TFP, and TFP, it stands for Transplant Fundraising Programs. That's what it means, TFP. And when I went back and listened to the podcast, because it was recorded, it's on our YouTube channel. You can go check that out in its entirety. There was a few clips and some nuggets that they were talking about. LaTonia Patterson was talking about, and I want to play this clip about what she was explaining in regards to having a TFP account rather than just having a savings, because most transplant facilities want to see that you have these funds in reserve. So let's just check out what she's talking about, and how it's so important to protect your funds. So let's check out this.
If you're a Georgia resident being transplanted at one of those transplant centers that say you have to have a certain amount in savings, and you, let's say that we have some people who are very fortunate and can pay out, just put the money there, show them, hey, I got this much money. Well, they could still have a life event that could make everything change. So the transplant centers are not necessarily in love with just random saving accounts as much as they are with people putting it into a TFP unmatched account, because then they know no matter what the life crisis this patient has, the funds are still going to be there. That's actually how our original program started when we just handled part of what NTAF did back in the day. Because we started that program. TFP in its current incarnation didn't start to 2007. Before that, we had our Access to Care program, which is much like our current unmatched accounts, in that we held money for you just so that the transplant centers knew that you had the funds. Because they did have people who, it's Georgia. Helene is not the first hurricane to hit us.
I got you.
And sometimes if something really bad happens and that money is sitting in the savings account at your local credit union, as much as you don't want to touch it, sometimes you may have to. So we started the Access to Care program to allow you to have those funds so the transplant center knows that it's there.
All right. So you heard her, that most people think that, I have the money and some funds in a savings account. And something very, very key that she mentioned at the end of what she was saying, when she made a joke about Hurricane Helene, life, what they say now, life be lifing, right? So things will come up where you may have to use those funds, meaning the money that you had saved up. If you know that you're about to get a kidney transplant and your social worker at your transplant facility has spoken to you about post-transplant expenses, the things you have to pay for. Some people are very, very proactive, which is great, which is awesome. However, let's say you have it in your savings and you're disciplined enough not to touch that money. But what if something, God forbid, if something horrific happens, right? And you need to tap into those funds. Now, how do you reimburse yourself? You could say that's all you had. But having that TFP account, it's protected. It's protected. They're holding it. They're saving it for you. You can't touch it until it's time where you really need it. Is designated for transplant, which is great. And also the transplant facility can see that you have the funds available. And it may sound weird. I mean, that's part of your evaluation or the evaluation process. They want to know that those funds are there. And I'll tell you, again, I was listed at 3 different facilities. And actually, when I received the call for a kidney, I was working on my 4th evaluation in Charlotte, North Carolina at Atrium Health. And they wanted to know, okay, they saw, all right, you have Medicare, good. That's your primary. All right, I see you have a secondary. Is that your spouse? I was like, yeah, that's from her. I'm on her insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield. They say, great, wonderful, awesome. But what about the other stuff? So because these medications are very expensive. It could be very, very expensive. And I'll be on them for the rest of my life as long as I have this kidney and I'm taking care of it. So every month you paying, you're paying. So what LaTonia was talking about, and she's with the Georgia Transplant Foundation. She's actually my coordinator. I have to communicate with her. I send in my receipts and the form that I have to fill out. It's just proof of that I paid out of pocket for XYZ. And when I send it, forward it to her, it takes a little time, but you get reimbursed. You get your reimbursement checks. And so, matter of fact, I just want to show y'all a little something what I got right here. I hope y'all can see that. Wait a minute. Is it backwards? Is everything backwards? Let's turn that around. Yeah. That was kind of crazy right there. But you can read it now. I got a folder. I got a binder with all my stuff in it, receipts and everything. And gas. They even pay for mileage because my transplant facility is in Charleston, South Carolina. So I was back and forth for a few months. And let's see if I can show you this. If I can just give y'all a little glimpse, I gotta hide some stuff. So people be wilding out. But the checks is real. The checks is real, people. These is checks. You understand? These is checks. You know what I mean? So these is reimbursement checks. So I got a whole folder full of them. It's real, folks. It depends on what you guys raise, the fundraising stuff. So yeah, the checks are real. I gotta hide this stuff because y'all, folks is real crazy. You know what I'm saying? So they do some ill stuff. So I'm just trying to cover up, some things. But the checks is real. The checks is real. I'm trying to tell y'all. But I always like to thank those individuals who donated to my campaign. I say it all the time. I love you all. If y'all run across this and see it and you know that you donated to my cause, it works. It works. And I hope, again, thank you. I love y'all. I really do. I love y'all. Listen, I'll go on and on and on. But y'all know my heart. I love y'all. I love y'all. So those individuals who are in the state of Georgia, you can be from out of state, but they won't match dollar for dollar up to $10,000. That's the only thing with the Georgia Transplant Foundation. And I'm hearing that in Charleston, South Carolina, they are developing a foundation modeled after GTF, Georgia Transplant Foundation. So hopefully there'll be 2 in the nation of its kind. But one last video I wanted to share with you all that my current MUSC social worker, Christy Malone, she talks about GoFundMe, right? Now, there are pros and cons to doing fundraising for your campaign, your transplant campaign, and understand GTF is, and I used to call it the Georgia Kidney Transplant Foundation, and I had to be corrected because it's just transplant, period. So that's heart, pancreas, liver, lung, kidney. It's transplant, period. So let's get that straight. Okay, so it's not just kidney transplant. Now, the kidney is the number one organ that is transplanted in the world, actually. So, but anyway, I want to get to what Christy talks about with GoFundMe. Check this out.
Well, and to add to what you were saying earlier, LaTonia, and I tell people this, everybody's familiar with GoFundMe, but anyone can start a GoFundMe. Mm-hmm. So long lost sister who got wind that you need a transplant, she can start a GoFundMe and pocket that money. Yeah. So that's money that's not protected. And another thing I mentioned to individuals and caregivers is that technically GoFundMe is money that is countable income. So if you are receiving benefits on a state level, you're technically supposed to report that income. And if you did, that could make you over income and you would lose any benefits you may have.
Exactly. Whereas if you do have a GoFundMe and you put it into a TFP account, because there are people who, they're very familiar with GoFundMe, so they like the idea of using it. If they have a TFP match account, they can put it in there and they get both, the TFP and the match. And best of all, it's not considered taxable income for our clients. Wow. So it would not affect their SSDI. It would not affect if they're on food stamps, if they're on Medicaid, it wouldn't affect any of it.
Okay. So you all just heard the pros and cons of doing a GoFundMe campaign for your transplant efforts. You heard from Christy Malone. She's actually my current post-kidney transplant social worker at MUSC, where I received my kidney transplant. And so she was talking about the fraud, and we have to watch out for even our own family members. So it's sad, but it happens. It happens. People may think that they're doing a good thing. Some people have good motives, some people don't. But we know how that is. So you have to be very, very careful. The other thing about doing GoFundMe is what LaTonia came back and said. She said you can do that and take that money out and place it in a TFP account. Again, the definition of TFP account is a transplant fundraising program where they hold the funds for you until it's time for you to use them. She was just talking about how you can do it, but the problem with that is you have to report that income. Most dialysis patients, because they cannot work anymore, I'm not saying all of us couldn't work. There were some people who could still work while going to dialysis, and shout out to them. Because I mean, the way it made me feel, but that's another discussion. But anyway, you have to report your income, your monthly income. And if you're doing right, I know some people cheat the system. I'm not, advocating for that. Please do the right thing, and the right thing will come back to you for sure. However, you have to report that income, and that income could, depending on how much money you raise, it could take you over your limit, and that could put your SSI in jeopardy. If you receiving Social Security, it can put that in jeopardy. You could lose that. So you have to be very, very mindful and careful of those things. So you heard from both of them. That was some great information. Also, too, and this is for individuals who are in the state of Georgia, even in the surrounding areas, Alabama, South Carolina, even North Carolina and Florida. And we're praying for those who are in Florida who are affected by the Hurricane Milton. Reports are now that individuals are without power. So we hope individuals got out of there and evacuated and really took heed to those warnings. So our hearts and our kidneys go out to you. So, but there is an event that Georgia Transplant Foundation is having on October the 19th, Saturday, October the 19th. This is a great event to come to gather some more information in regards to getting a TFP account. I will tell you now, it was one of the best things I could have ever done because it was all new to me. It was all new to me. I didn't know what to expect, what to think, how it all worked. I wish that I had a program or something to watch like the Kidney Corner to get some information and to hear it from a patient perspective. But this event is on the 19th, Saturday the 19th, and registration ends tomorrow, Friday, on the 11th. That's the deadline to register. It's free, no charge. It's free to register. Just go here to gatransplant.org. Sign up, register. You want to be in the place. Like we say back in the days, you want to be in the place to be. All right. To get that information and meet the people. You'll meet LaTonia and some of her other colleagues and wonderful people there at GTF. I hope you get this information. I left it up so you can screenshot it or whatever it is you do. Check them out. But that's pretty much it. From me, Craig, in the Kidney Corner. I just wanted to go live real quick for someone out there who is considering a kidney transplant, or you may be a caregiver who saw this, you came across it, or you may be a family member or a friend, someone who you know that's dealing with kidney issues on dialysis and who is in need of a kidney transplant. We're praying for you guys. We thank you guys for your support and watching. And so that's it for now. We'll see you guys on the 22nd, Tuesday the 22nd. One of my former, I'll probably be going back to him, nephrologist who took very, very good care of me. His mom actually took good care of me. She was my nephrologist when I moved here to Georgia. She did an awesome job. She kept me on stage 3 for 18 years. She did a phenomenal job. Rest in peace to Dr. Uma Kumar. But we'll have her son on, Dr. Shrikar Kumar. We're excited about that. And so just stay tuned. And share this link. Share the link. Please share the link with someone who may need it. All right. So it's Craig. I'm signing out. And as always, get in position as it relates to your health. We see you guys next time. Peace.
Join us on the Kidney Corner podcast on Tuesday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. with our special guest, Dr. Shrikar Kumar, a nephrologist with Southern Crescent Nephrology. We will discuss intricate details of treating kidney disease and preventative care regarding kidney failure awareness. You can interact with us and our special guests by asking questions on our YouTube channel. Remember, get in position as it relates to your health. Thank you for watching.